Hello, back again. This is Legends Series video number 4. And it is the very great legend and my friend Ken Rivers. There you go. Now, this is a great story as to how I first met Ken, because I had in fact I've been wanting to get tattooed by him for a long time, but many years ago. So anyway, I have to go back quite a long way now, and I've been building machines for a few years and decided to go out and start go out on the road to tattoo conventions and shows. So anyway, the very first one that we did, I say we, that's me and my wife, because I couldn't have done any of them without her. She's been a great help over the years at the shows. So anyway, the first one was Portsmouth at the Guildhall, which was a fantastic show. I did that 7 years running. Anyway, so this was 2011, the very first year. As I say, I'd been building for a few years before that, and just going around studios, you know, mostly fairly local, word of mouth, a little bit on the internet, but wasn't really involved with Facebook at that point, I don't think. And yeah, so 2011, and we got a booth, a stall up at the show there. Now, I'll give you the full the full story, because it's fair. I think it's interesting anyway. So, and Ken Rivers is an absolute legend, and he deserves the whole story, you know. So we're there. We're upstairs. All the sort of traders and stuff were upstairs, and there's me in the corner. Had a few of my machines with me. I think probably had about 15 machines maybe. I mean, I've taken lots more than that to shows in the past, but of course this was the very first show that we'd done, and I really didn't know what to expect. So I had to say 15, maybe 20 machines, but there was other things around that. So I'd had some t-shirts printed, and I'd gone and bought in some needles just to sort of bulk up the stall a bit, really, because otherwise it was just bare, you know. I wasn't any sort of equipment supplier or anything like that. So we just had a few bits and pieces, and I had a couple of banners done and some business cards, and well, I already had the business cards. I had some postcards or posters or whatever it was to hang around the stall. So there I was upstairs in the left-hand corner of the room as you're walking in. Next to me was Al, Gentleman's Tattoo Flash. And then opposite me was that boring old lot, what they called, Global, that was it. Old Misery himself. Old, I can't even remember the guy's name. He just used to bore me to death at shows. And they'd sell to absolutely anyone. They'd sell to scratchers all the time. Every time I turned away a scratcher at a show, you know, whatever show it was, Liverpool, Manchester, whatever, they'd go straight to Global and buy a machine off of them. My conscience was clear anyway. So there I was, and there's people coming around and having a look at my stuff and spending a bit of time having a chat, which, you know, it was great. I love talking machine stuff. I really do. And I love passing on information and stuff like that. And a guy comes along and he has a look at the machines, and he buys one. I can't remember what one. I think one of them was a motorcycle chain one that I did, and I can't remember the other machine, because he sort of, as I recall, he bought one and then came back and bought another one. But he definitely had two on that day, this guy. And somebody else came over and started chatting with me, and so I'm stood there chatting to this guy, and his name is Andy Booth. yeah, really nice dude, like, you know, does love a laugh, great bloke, gotta say. And studio over in Watford there, so shout out to Andy. I haven't seen him for a long time, but I hope he's all well and good. And Dan, who certainly was in the studio with him, both great artists in their own right and what they do. So anyway, although I didn't know it at the time, his name was Andy Booth, and so he's chatting to me, and he's asking me a strange amount of questions, you know, about you know, coil wire and coil cores, and so I'm rattling off stuff. I'm thinking, I wonder if he's a machine builder or what, you know. But I don't know. As I say, I don't mind sharing the info, and then we get chatting about where he's from, and you know where I was from, and originally, and I'm like, yeah, you know, I got tattooed by Terry Dino and Jack Zeke and stuff, and then he said where he was from, like you know, Watford way, and I said, oh yeah, I said there's a artist over there that I'd always wanted to get tattooed by. I said, but never did back in the day. It was Ken Rivers, you know, and I said I just always wanted to get tattooed by him because you know I'd heard he's great and everything, and love sort of getting tattooed by different people. That's as simple as that, right? I know some people want to just use one artist, but I've got tattoos by a lot of different people. So he's like, and he's like, well, he goes, you just sold him 2 machines. I'm like, you what? He goes, he's just bought 2 machines off you. He said, I was his apprentice. I worked with him for years down at his studio at Bushy Arches there, and I was like absolutely blown away. You know that completely blown away and honoured that that he'd come and bought a couple of machines off me. You know, I was like, Christ, you know, I really wanted to. This guy's a legend as far as I'm concerned. He was a legend before I even knew him, you know, and yeah, just brilliant. So, and I'm still chatting to Andy Booth, and I said, well, what's the questions and all that? What's going on? Do you build machines and that? No, he said, I'm really checking if you knew your stuff, you know, because you get a lot of people just rebuilding sort of Chinese crap, and yeah, I just wanted to just really, I don't know, some sort of test, if you like, you know, check you knew what you was talking about, which I like to think I do, you know. I mean, hey, we're always learning new bits and pieces, right? You never stop learning. It's never a bad thing to learn new stuff. But yeah, you know, so, and I explained to him, look, I'm happy to share the info and all that, and then I went over, and you know, Ken had gone off and he was chatting to somebody else, and I think I waited till he'd finished. I think he was chatting with them guys over at Global or whatever, and I went over, and you know, I said to him, look, you know, bloody hell, mate, you know, thanks for buying the machines and stuff, and I think I got a selfie, you know, so embarrassed myself a bit getting a selfie, and certainly getting some photos and stuff, and I don't even know where those photos are now. I think I lost them. I think my computer crashed or whatever, but absolutely brilliant. And I went and got a couple of t-shirts. Actually 3 shirts. I gave them all a t-shirt each, and from then on, of course, I mean, since then, like I say, kept in touch with Ken, and in fact, I've built machines for a couple of guys in his studio, and I built others for Ken as well. I built one of it out of a small snap-on ratchet socket handle thing. I've got some photos of it somewhere. Maybe I'll tell you what, I'll put a photo up at the end of this at the tail end of this video. I'll put a photo on, or I'll put it on as the thumbnail at the beginning. We'll see. Anyway, and also I built him one. I hand cut one with my plasma cutter in the shape of a K, for obviously for K for Ken, you know. And I took that to him, and I think I took that to him when he tattooed me. And obviously I just gave it him as a gift, you know. I used to really love doing that. If I went and got tattooed by someone, I'd always, if they didn't take any money off me, I'd make sure I built them a machine, right, and gave them a machine, because, you know, trade goods sort of thing. You know, I make machines, they make art, and fair's fair, all's fair, and it's great. And I've done that a few times with different people, so, and it's worked well, you know. And so, yeah, I went up to his studio in Banbury there. Colour Me Custom, it's called. Very, very good studio, very well worth checking out. And yeah, I got tattooed by him, and I got the little one on the back of my leg about that big. And it's the Hellfish Simpsons tattoo. You know what? Let's see if I can dig my leg out here and show you maybe. I don't know if you can see. Can you see? No. Let's tilt the camera down a bit. There we go. My Hellfish, the Hellfish Bonanza that Grandpa had in The Simpsons. I'd wanted a tattoo for a while, and I took sort of like a stencil up there to him, and got him to do that for me. So that was a very proud day for me to finally get tattooed by the absolute legend, and someone I'm very pleased and proud to call a friend, Ken Rivers. And that's the story. So big massive shout out to him. Hello Ken, hello Andy and Dan. If you do ever see this video, I don't know if you will or you won't. I don't have so many subscribers, and it's more than likely they're not even on my list. Maybe you could even forward it to them if you're out there and you know them. That would be great. And yeah, that Portsmouth show was, I know I do rattle on about shows a bit, but the Portsmouth one was very close to our hearts. It was the first show that I did, and we did, like I say, we did 7 years on the trot there. It was only upstairs that first year, and then it moved downstairs, and we used to have a real laugh. I used to be next to Dwayne downstairs, and he did some tattoo supplies and stuff, and also Ian at Lucky 7. Had a lot of laughs with Ian, and he's I like to consider him a friend, actually. He's been down to my workshop, in fact, and yeah, great guy, very, very knowledgeable, knows a lot of people. So shout out to Ian as well. Hope you're doing well, mate. And yeah, so that's it, really. I think for my Legends series of videos, I think Ken Rivers wraps it up well, because he is an absolute legend. And so yeah, perfect ending to the series of 4 videos. I hope you enjoyed the story. It's it was good for me. Maybe it's not so fascinating for you guys. It's just good for me to remember this stuff, because maybe one day I'll forget it all. You know, we'll get there maybe. But I'm happy to share it with you guys. I'm also happy to share any information on machines and any help you might need. So you can always message me and get in touch if you do need help on anything with regards to machines. So there we have it. Legends video number 4, Ken Rivers. Ken, you're a legend and a friend. I'm sorry I haven't been up to see you for quite a long time, well before COVID. I think me and Budgie will probably pop up and annoy you one day soon. How about that? Right, catch you soon. Stay safe, everyone, and subscribe, keep up the good work. Take care.